We are live, and I'm coming at you with five. How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Let's pile into the room. Let's pile into the room. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. Come on in the room. Wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today, but if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, cause on the dance floor is where we'll be. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the... Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the... Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. On earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Tell me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop. I'll do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the... Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so, if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll feel the groove. Get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the floor. Yeah, gotta get on. Come on, baby, gotta get on. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Gotta get on up. Hold on. That was not the groove that I wanted to get y'all, that will get y'all on the floor. No, I don't know what the hell that was. How we doing tonight, y'all? Smash up the like, smash up the like, smash up the likes, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I said I wasn't coming back. I said I wasn't gonna do another live stream on Sunday, but since I love the hell out of y'all and I had nothing left to do, I just decided why not. Let's address obviously the elephant in the room. Yeah, please, thank you, Darius. I appreciate it. Y'all can hit that like, share, and subscribe button so you'll know when we go live. You hit that notification bell, and especially that's even more important than just a subscribe button, because you can be subscribed, but when I go live, you don't have that notification bell. But y'all gotta forgive me if I don't come on camera. I'm a little tired, and I'd rather just lay down while I'm talking to you via my laptop. And thank you, Danielle. I just want to talk through my laptop with you all tonight because I'm in my other room just chilling. So we are hot and heavy. Now, I want to give a special shout out to our sister, Nicole from Nicole's View. I was on her platform with Harvey Superboy and Erica from the Black Nationalist channel. So y'all make sure you're subscribed to their channels, Your World and Harvey Superboy. And Nicole, shout out to her. Now, Nicole doesn't come on live a lot, like talking about it. And actually, part of the reason has to do with all of the crap we deal with from YouTube. And that's part of the reason why I even was limiting my live stream. But we here, and we're going to talk about it. Let's get the elephant. Shall we deal with the elephant in the room? I guess we're going to deal with it. Good Lord, Jada Pink got a ball ass head. Chris Rock, Ethers, Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, in his latest Netflix special, Selective Outrage. Now, if you watched my live stream, the live stream today when I was on with Nicole, I know some of you are on Nicole's show. You listened to her broadcast, and I talked about this there. If you haven't, I'll explain. Chris Rock had his latest comedy special since the incident at the Oscars, the Oscar slap on last night, and it was the first time that Netflix actually did a full live stream. It was a full on live stream that Netflix is doing. So they actually showed the state special live from Baltimore. And before that, they had a pre-show out at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles, and followed up after the special, they had a post show at the Comedy Store. And Chris Rock, who has, obviously, he's arguably one of the most successful stand-up comedians of all time. I'm a comedian. I like watching stand-up comedy. I like watching other comics. I consider myself a great analyst when it comes to comedy. I was watching it just to check it out to see, because really, and truthfully, I was just watching it to see what would be the last 10 minutes of the special. Now, the special was called Selective Outrage. And ever since the Oscar slap, Chris Rock, his comedy tour, he actually was doing a comedy tour. His ticket sales went up like right afterwards. He was getting all type of deals and so forth. People wanted to interview him, and he reportedly said he ain't got nothing to say until he got a check. He certainly took this to the bank, and he didn't hold any punches last night regarding Jada and Will. Now, back on March 30th, he signed a deal with Netflix to do 2 comedy specials for $40 million. This is, I believe, his first special under that deal. Next, and I think coming up soon, Netflix, and I said this with the live streaming event, their first live streaming event, they're also going to do the SAG Awards. So they did this special for him. Now, he's had other specials before on Netflix. I think one was in 2018 that was released called Tambourine. He recorded that back in 2017. So this is his first special. And I explained to people, especially since I knew comedy and I was talking to Nicole, sometimes it can take comedians almost 2 or 3 minutes to 2-3 years before they come up with solid material that they can use on stage. And they have to test it out at different audiences, at different shows, especially if you're trying to do 15, 20 minutes, you want to do a stand-up special, you got to make sure your shit is tight. Chris Rock is an OG. I'll say that much. Now, I thought there was stuff in it where Chris Rock was witty, clever. Some parts were funny. Other stuff, I felt there was a little soft shoeing to a degree. And there were some things I cringed at. Even as a stand-up comedian, when I watch other comedians, there's some stuff, I'm be real with you, I don't like. I didn't necessarily care for the Michael Jackson and O.J. Simpson stuff per se. But one thing I can't do, especially as another stand-up comedian, is be hypocritical and say that I've never recycled some material that I had. I would be a hypocrite if I said that. But Chris Rock didn't hold any, as I stated, didn't hold any punches. He talked about Meghan Markle. He talked about selective outrage. He talked about uh, abortion being illegal, which is not illegal in the country. What it is that it's no longer a fundamental right. That's what the Supreme Court said. They left it up to the states, but that's neither here nor there. And yes, Chris Rock does pander to the left. I noticed that. But what everybody packed in that arena in Baltimore was waiting for, that theater, was basically the last 10 minutes of his set, going at Will and Jada Pinkett Smith. Now, I'm going to play a clip of that. I can't show it, but I will play it so you can hear. Let me know if you give a thumbs up if you can hear it. All right, hold on.
Cheated on us. And his wife was fucking her son's friend. Okay? Now, I normally would not talk about this shit. But for some reason, these niggas put that shit on the internet. I have no idea why two talented people would do something that fucking low down. What the fuck? And we all been cheated on. Everybody in here have been cheated on. None of us have ever been interviewed by the person that cheated on us on television. None of us. It's like, hey, I was sucking somebody else's dick. How did that make you feel? Why the fuck would you do that shit? She hurt him way more than he hurt me, okay? Okay? And by the way, he does that shit. Everybody in the world called him a bitch. I tried to call the motherfucker and give him my condolences. He ain't pick up for me. Everybody called that man a bitch. Fucking Charlemagne called him a bitch, and the Breakfast Club called him a bitch, and the View, and the Talk, and every rapper, and fucking the Drink Champs called him a fucking bitch. Everybody called him a bitch. They called his wife a predator. Everybody called him a bitch. Everybody. And who's he hit? Me. A nigga he know he could beat. That is some bitch ass shit. That's what the fuck happened, okay? The fuck out of here, man.
So that was part of the clip. Now, he went harder. There's more I won't play, but he went at Jada. He called her even a bitch. You know, and just went at him. So everybody was waiting for that. Now, I've seen a lot of stuff, a lot of people I know, especially in the B1 community. Especially I was talking with Nicole Harvey and them. I know they just don't like they don't like Chris Rock at all. I mean, don't like Chris Rock at all, in part because stuff he said. I know he's made jokes about Michael, which is something I didn't particularly care for. But as I explained, Michael Jackson is low hanging fruit, so he had to address, because everybody was waiting for him to go at Will Smith. Everybody was waiting for him to go to Jada Pinkett Smith. I would bet, guys, that 98% of that audience was there just to hear him talk about this Will Smith. Everybody was waiting for it. Everybody was waiting for it, knew he was going to say it. And he waited a whole year, essentially almost a year to do that. Now, you know what's interesting is that when he did this was in Baltimore when he did his special. When Selective Outrage was shot out in Baltimore. And you know who is from Baltimore, right? Jada Pinkett Smith was born in Baltimore. She was raised there at the Merrick Performing Arts Center. Now, Chris Rock clapped back at the end when he was asked, why didn't you do anything? Why you didn't hit him? And he said, because I have parents. I was raised right. And he said, you know, my parents always told me never get in front of a fight in front of white people. And he walked off. Now, something that has always bugged people, especially in my the B1 family community, and black people, I guess, with Chris Rock. A lot of people think Chris Rock is that. I've heard people say Chris Rock is that white guy, black friend who the white guys have so they can say nigga, and they go back to stuff like this.
One of my favorite bits is that when white people are rich, they're just rich forever and ever. Even their kids are rich.
Yeah.
But when a black guy gets rich, it's countdown to when he's poor again.
He's the blackest white guy I fucking know. And then all the negative things we think about black people, this fucker.
You're saying I'm a nigger.
Yes, you are the niggerest fucking white man I have ever.
Amazing. I don't think he could do that.
What?
I don't think he has those
There's only
qualities.
two.
I mean, no, you don't even understand.
Really?
You don't really know him. Like, I've worked with him.
No, like your bit about.
I wouldn't use it anywhere.
No, exactly. These two.
We
use
say
that
nigger on stage.
on stage.
You guys don't. That's
Yeah.
an
that's the
interesting two
difference.
teams
That's
here.
the difference between
That's right. That's right. We
can
say
pair
nigger on
up in
stage. You
different
guys
ways,
don't.
but that's definitely a pairing. Who
We
says
say-
nigger on stage? We don't.
Well, you just did.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
You and me say
No,
nigger in
no,
private.
No.
These two guys don't. I don't believe he says it in private
I'm
much.
giving it up just because it's played.
I don't believe it's. I don't think you've ever.
All right, I ain't gonna play more of it, but this is a clip. This is what everybody focuses on. This what I think was from like 2009, 2008, exactly. It was a special that Chris Rock, Louis C.K., Ricky Gervais, and Jerry Seinfeld did for HBO, and everybody wants to see my face. Hold on, let me get it. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. All right, hold on. All right, you wanted to see my face. The face of God is here. Computer robots asked to see my face, so there we go. So Danielle, just so she can see me, so Danielle can faint. She knows how good looking I am. All the girls know that. All right, I'm off again. It's your fault, computer robots. All right, so that video. So yeah, I saw Darius. Darius is like, I can't rock with Chris Rock with that. I knew that. Well, look, everybody is gonna be like, I talked about it with Nicole. Everybody and Harvey. Everybody's gonna like a joke. Is gonna hate somebody, or I should say, a comedian. Don't like a comedian or what he says. They're gonna find something wrong with his set. Even with Dave Chappelle, there were people that found something wrong with him talking about transgenders. You had that Judy Gold. Was it? Yeah, Judy Gold, I think, was the comedian that was upset about a joke he did on Jews. And I know for a fact, I don't know Judy Gold personally, but I'm pretty sure in her set, she has made jokes about black people. Just like I've seen I've seen Louis C.K., Bill Burr, uh, a bunch of other comedians. You saw Ricky Gervais there. They've made jokes. Jerry Seinfeld, when you saw that clip, by the way, he was the only one that was uncomfortable. You could tell with him saying that, with those three saying that. And he said, Louis C.K., I don't think you could get away with it. And he probably wouldn't, and Louis C.K. would not. Now, if this were the 80s, if George Carlin said it, then yeah. See, everybody's not going to like what a comedian says. I listened to George Carlin. George Carlin was one of the greatest stand-up comedians of all time. George Carlin was a beast, white boy who said whatever he wanted on his mind. And he talked about every subject you can think of, from politics to parkways and driveways. He even did a riff on religion, and he was known for being an opponent of religion. He was critical. George Carlin used to make jokes about God, about the 10 Commandments. And when I was a kid coming up, just like I know some of you, God was often, you never made, your mama told you never mock the Lord. Well, he didn't get that message, or he got it and ignored it, because he did a whole set, roughly 10, 15 minutes on the 10 Commandments. So, and I'm Catholic, and I laughed at it. I laughed at some of the stuff he did. When he talked, St. Richard Pryor, there are people who didn't like Richard Pryor. There are people who didn't like Bill Cosby too. There are people that think Richard Pryor went too far with the N-word and with his jokes. I consider Richard Pryor, like many people among my peers and even Chris Rock, to be the king of comedy. He's the greatest stand-up comedian that ever lived, in my opinion. I would, right behind it, I'd say Dave Chappelle is close, but they got Paul Mooney, who was great, Red Fox. I'd say George Carlin. If I did an order of 5, I would say Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Red Fox, Eddie Murphy, and Bernie Mac. Rock would be in 10. Well, I think because they find Chris Rock to be corny. And Chris Rock has made jokes, I guess, at the expense of black people. He has. He did a documentary called Good Hair about black people's hair. And at the fact that he's clapped back. Okay, he did a joke about Michael Jackson and R. Kelly last night, where he talks about selective outrage. You play Michael Jackson, but the minute I play R. Kelly, you all up in the head. You are activists. You go from a fan to an activist. Same crime, but one just got better songs. That was the joke he did, essentially. And people, I knew Nicole wasn't going to like it. I understood, and look, as a comedian, I understood the joke. I don't like them, and I'm friends. Shout out to Taj and TJ, by the way. I'm real close friends. I'm good friends, I should say, with Taj. Acquainted, or better yet is a better word, with Taj and his family. And I know they're going through some stuff online with some trolls. I talked about that on the show. But Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, O.J. Simpson, who Chris Rock was making fun of. Now, I thought that was some 90s, that's from still calling O.J. a murderer? Dude, it's from the freaking 90s. Come up with some new shit. He still got laughs out of it. But was there other stuff he could have done? Yeah, there are some things he could have done. But comedians try to find what they think, especially what alerts to the audience, what gets their attention, what's going to make them laugh, and to see it from my cerebral vortex. And he did talk about his wife, his ex-wife, his daughters. He talked about his mom and, Jada Pinkett Smith. And he talked about, he ethered Meghan Markle about racism, saying, you weren't going through racism, you were going through some in-law shit, which we all go through. He called the royal family the OGs of racism, which they are. So Chris Rock, like I said, he was witty. He was clever. and some parts were funny. There was some stuff. I would say the first 20 minutes he had my attention. He was solid. That middle part and stuff, especially when he started talking about his mom and his daughters, I felt he was rambling a little bit. The end, of course, was with Will and Jada, and he called her. He called Will and Jada everything but a child of God. But let's be real, y'all. Y'all know that. Let's just go back to the Oscars thing for a minute. Y'all know for a fact, if it's Don Rickles, he's deceased, but Don Rickles was known for roasting an entire audience. Ricky Gervais roasted the Screen Actors Guild. I think it was the Screen Actors Guild Awards or Golden Globe, one of the two. He was roasting them about the Weinstein thing. Any of those guys, and Gervais has said himself, I wouldn't have made fun of Jada's hair. I would have made fun of the boyfriend. Will Smith wouldn't have gotten on stage, I stand by it, and slapped the white boy. He would not have slapped Don Rickles. He wouldn't have slapped Ricky Gervais. By the way, did y'all hear this story that Will apparently let a white actor spit on him? He's talking about on this latest episode of Red Table Talk, allegedly on the set of that Emancipation movie. Will let this white actor improvised and spat on Will Smith. A white actor I ain't never heard of. Just sat up and spat on the Academy Award winning Fresh Prince. And Will's talking to his two sons about it on Red Table Talk. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Allegedly, this happened. And Will didn't smack the dude. Now, this was, of course, before when they did Emancipation. That came out, or that was produced before that incident. I'm not lying about it. I'm not lying about it. You know, Arsenio was talking about it. He alleged that a white actor spat on him. No, this is it here. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the video. Yeah, here's the video right here. I'm not lying. Hold on. I'm going to play it. Y'all look at this shit. This is on MSN. Hold on. All right, it's making me, sorry guys, it's making me go on this channel. You know how you click on an Instagram video and then it stops playing? Hold on. All right, this is it here.
Thank you all. Emancipation was the individual most difficult film of my entire career. It was all outdoors. That is true. I remember it was the second day of shooting, and it's really difficult to transport a modern mind to that time period. It's difficult to imagine that level of inhumanity. And I remember it was the second day of shooting, and 110 degrees, and we're out there, and I was in a scene with one of the white actors, and we had our line, and the actor decided to ad-lib. So we're doing the scene, and I did my line, and then he did his line, and then he ad-libbed and spit in the middle of my chest. Now, if I had pearls on, I definitely would have clutched them. And I wanted to say, Antoine! But I stopped, and I realized that Peter couldn't have called the director. So I sat there, and I took a deep breath, and we did take two. And the actor felt that the ad-lib had gone well. So we do take two, and I do my line, and he does his line, and spits in the middle of my chest again. And I just held in that moment, and there was a part, it makes me teary right now, right? And there was a part of me that was grateful, right?
What?
And I got to really understand, right? And then in the distance, I hear a voice, and Antoine says, "Hey, let's do a take without the spit." And in that moment, I knew that God was real.
So that was Will speaking at the AFCA, the African American Film Critics Association Awards. I know actors improvise and ad-lib, but shit, I would have to come out of character if he did that. That wasn't called for in the script, obviously, and Antoine Fuqua said do one without it. But Will Smith didn't slap the dude. Now, I'm not one of those people that believe that Will Smith should be banned for the rest of his life, that he did something that was awful. I thought it was a bitch move. I stand by that. I do think we should move on and give him a second chance. There have been people that have done far worse. But Chris Rock decided he was going to go in on it, and he did, which was his right because he was assaulted on live television in front of everybody. He was embarrassed. So he was holding it in, basically like the Godfather waited for revenge when he baptized his nephew. Remember in the Godfather when Michael, the baptism of fire, when Michael killed all the heads of the 5 families and killed his brother-in-law, Mo Green, Sal Tussio, everybody that betrayed the Corleone family or attacked them, he went after them. Michael did that. And Chris Rock waited the perfect time, and I don't think it was a coincidence that he shot it in Baltimore, and it was a week before the Oscars, because everybody's going to look at the Oscars and see what happens. Of course, we know the Smiths will not be there, but people will watch that. Now, I got to point out, because I got to watch this, but Marlon Wayans did a special on HBO Max making fun of Chris Rock. And I got to play it. I got to hear it.
Things about my brother Chris Rock. Either he is the strongest black man that God ever created, or he is truly one bitch ass nigga. Cause this nigga didn't even act like he's gonna hit him back. He didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? He didn't put his hands up. I didn't see his little claws curl up. That nigga just took it and then complimented Will on the slap. I can't believe it. Will Smith just slapped me at the Oscar. This is the best moment in Oscar history. I'm never gonna wash my cheek again. The real punk shit was Will screamed from his chair, "Keep my wife's name out your motherfucking mouth." And this nigga Chris said, "That's a good idea."
I gotta watch that tonight. But yeah, Marlon Wayans has just really started doing stand up. He's been going hard. But yeah, Patrice was a beast, but he died young. Robin Harris was a beast. He died young. Of course, the greatest stand-ups of all time, Bill Cosby. I gotta put him in, although I wasn't a big. And y'all know I defend Bill Cosby all the time. But secret as it's, I share a secret with you, although it won't be a secret. I wasn't really a big fan of Bill Cosby in terms of his stand-up. I was more a fan of like the Cosby Show and Fat Albert. But I left that. But I didn't like his stand-up comedy. I never got a chance to listen to. I was an Eddie Murphy guy. I was Bill Cosby. Eddie Murphy in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s, he was on top of his career. He was on top of shit. There was not a star brighter than Murphy. And that's just real talk. That's not me kissing his ass, but he was the only actor at that time, I think with the exception of Tom Cruise, that had an exclusive deal with a network, Paramount Pictures, to do all his movies, all his stand-up specials. Remember, he did Raw. He did Coming to America. I think he also had The Distinguished Gentleman. What else I'm missing? He had Beverly Hills Cop, the trilogy series. He had Trading Places. He had 48 Hours, another 48 Hours. He was just on top of the world. Yeah, he was a beast. So I'm looking at this, though, as a stand-up comedian. Rock obviously challenging selective outrage and cancel culture. There's some truth to that. Because people get easily offended and triggered. There is truth to that. And yeah, Bill Cosby was killing it in the 70s in movies, but his stand-up wasn't just, I just didn't appeal to that. The only stand-up special I ever watched, which I thought was good, was the Bill Cosby himself routine. That's right, too. The Golden Child. He also had a movie called Best Defense that flopped, but he was put in as a throw-in to save the movie. But Delirious, he just, Nutty Professor, he did that with Universal Pictures. Harlem, oh man, how do I feel about Harlem Nights? Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Charlie Murphy, Della Reese, Robin Harris, Ronaldo Ray, who was another great comedian. Well, that did, but actually what got him the Cosby Show, what got him the Cosby Show in part, in 1982, he was guest hosting for Johnny Carson. Bill Cosby, I think, outside of George Carlin, Don Rickles, he's one of the few comedians that's actually appeared on a Tonight Show over 100 times. And he guest hosted for Johnny Carson that night and did a routine about family and how you have descendants and your biggest worry is that when you're dead, your children are all going to look like you. Your children And it's the biggest concern that the children will always look like you. And Brandon Turnerkoff loved it. And that got him the deal to do the Cosby Show. And interesting enough, when he did the Cosby Show, do y'all know Felicia, Mrs. Cosby, Camille, she actually got billed to make the characters who they were, Cliff and Claire Huxtable, doctor and lawyer. Originally, Cliff was going to be, I think, a limo driver, and Claire was going to be a plumber. Yeah, that wouldn't go, that wasn't going to rub with Mrs. Cosby, because she's like, you know what you got in your hands, right? She saw that was an opportunity to educate the nation about black folks and show that we were better than just not some heathens and not ignorant ass folks that sat on there collecting welfare, drinking malt liquors, thinking every negative stereotype of black people. She wanted something to show how black people would be portrayed in a positive light on TV. And Bill Cosby did that. He did that with that show, with A Different World, how to get educated. And it inspired a lot of the other 90s shows that came out. Family Matters, Fresh Prince. Even the white shows, Growing Pains, Boy Meets World. He was to set the template for that. So he's in my top 10. But yeah, man, but I'm not surprised Chris Rock did this. I'm gonna go actually on the channel right now. If you go to our main channel, gboot2786, thank you for watching. If you're on there on Gavin Richard, I'm gonna ask you all in the chat. Go to channel gboot2786, guys. I'm about to ask y'all a question. We're gonna start a poll. What did you think, if you saw it, of the Chris Rock's Selective Outrage special on Netflix? Give me, did you think it sucked? Did you think it rocked? Did you think it sucked? Did you not watch? I'm asking y'all. We're asking the community right now. Danielle didn't see it. Okay, so just comment in the poll you didn't see it. I'm gonna ask people on my other YouTube channel, because I know there are people watching on Gavin Richard. Did you see it? Make sure, ladies and gentlemen, you hitting that like, share, and subscribe button, please, and that notification. Like I said again, I'm not surprised he went hard. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. And let me also give you a warning, especially, and I brought this up on the Cole show. This could have been avoided if Will Smith had handled it 10 times better than what he did that night. Because y'all think about this. I mean, Chris Rock certainly would have gotten another stand-up special on Netflix. Don't get me wrong. But but do you all think we would be talking about that special? It would be on NBC News, ABC News. Did have 1 million views on Twitter the way it's attracting attention? Hell no. Because of that. So Chris Rock milked this whole thing. And he picked his time. Like I said, he did that. Cosby just didn't save the sitcom genre. He saved NBC. By the way, for those that don't know or haven't, if you're just your first time here, hit that like, share, and subscribe button, that notification bell. You can get The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby on Amazon Kindle. Order that book, because I explain and break down how Dr. Cosby was railroaded. But I'm just waiting to see. I want to see what Shannon Sharp's take on it is going to be tomorrow. I got to say right now, Skip, I didn't go to sleep last night on Saturday. I was so hyped up for that special skip, I started to go to the laugh factory. No, I know it was called the comedy store, but let me get the joke right. Because you know something, Skip? That stand-up special, that made me sing the blues. That stand-up special, he put smoke on Will and Jada. But you see, I would have gave him that smoke the night before all this stuff happened. I'd have had to come out that suit. I'd have had to come out that time for it. Will Smith would have got his ass whooped. Steve Harvey's gonna be talking about it in the morning too. I I just got to say right here, y'all. Y'all know your ass. uh, Rock is a Jersey boy, and y'all know. I knew he was gonna get Will ass. I just know. I'm from Cleveland, y'all. I know how this stuff go down. I know how it go down. Cause I was on stand up too. You know, I performed stand up barefooting. I had one damn shoe in Cleveland, y'all. Ever since I was a little boy, we had to share one shoe. I walked around in a circumference to school. I had to walk circles. So I even have it on my back. Okay, so I have it on my backup channel. It rocked. It sucked. Didn't watch. Oh, we hot and heavy here. So yeah, I that's all I'm gonna say about that. It didn't surprise me that he went that hard. It was gonna happen. It was gonna happen. Yeah, that's what I was saying. If Will could have done it like what Michael B. Jordan did, that's how he got revenge on that orange head heifer, on that bully. You could tell, and you could tell he was hurt by it, but the revenge is in the success. So if Will Smith walks up on stage, gets his Oscar, praises his wife, then says, "Hey Chris, this is my beautiful wife. We're still married, unlike some people we know." Something like that. Or, "Hey, Chris, here's an Oscar. I'll let you hold it since that's the closest you'll get to one." Something like that, because everybody knows Chris can't act. Chris Rock movies aren't that good. But Chris Rock is making millions of dollars from it. But yeah. So I'm looking at y'all comment. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, y'all. But yeah, I'm sure Will and Jada, they probably I said this even on my Facebook page that Will was punching the air somewhere in Los Angeles. Something was gonna happen. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, guys. The last thing I want to get into tonight, because we got to keep it moving. The young brother Jay Morant from the Memphis Grizzlies, who got suspended for 2 games because he did an Instagram post. I think he was in a strip club and purportedly, well, I'm not going to say purportedly, he is holding what looks to be, he's holding a firearm. Now, I can play the video. I just can't play the music with it. I'll get a copyright strike, but that's Ja Morant purportedly with a firearm, enjoying life, enjoying the club with his entourage, who I'm sure he paid heavily for to get in. Looks like they're in the VIP section. He went down to the Pank. He went down to P Valley. Ended up getting suspended. Yeah, oh damn. I wish I could play the music. They grinding on each other in there. Yeah, I can't play the music. YouTube will copyright strike this stuff. So he got suspended. Let me address this. So you're saying Michael B. Jordan is weak by letting childhood name calling run him? I don't think he was weak at all. He didn't let that run him at all. He got his. See, here's the thing though. Everybody likes to state what your pain and suffering is. Oh, you shouldn't be complaining about. You don't know what a person is going through in childhood and bullying. Because I've been bullied myself. That's a hurtful thing for a kid to go through, and it's something that you don't always grow out of. There are people that have had things worse than name calling happen to them, but he just didn't have name call. He was probably humiliated and picked on time and time again and couldn't do nothing about it because he didn't want to get in trouble in school. I felt he played it pretty cool. He got the on the Hollywood Walk of Fame that same week. The girl was third, really, if you look at it carefully with the picture, she's posing in front of his poster, his for Creed 3, right underneath him, at the right height. Michael B. Jordan is a class act, Brother Henderson. He ain't nothing corny about him. I met him. He was a nice dude, down to earth. What is it with all this corny? Like, he's corny if he got a job. He corny because he like I've seen some women say he's nice and good looking, but he doesn't look like he has responsibility. Bitch, what? A multi-millionaire? A famous world actor? That's part of the reason this hip-hop, and this is what Taj and TJ kind of were referring to, but it goes deeper than that. This thug culture that we embrace, especially in the hip-hop community so fucking much, that has hurt our community in some way, in a large number of ways. I was the type of guy that was a bookworm. I was a guy that girls didn't look at like the dude, like the all-star in basketball player for high school, a football player. I was the bookworm. I like to read. I was to myself sometimes, for most part. I had friends, but I wasn't, I did some things, but I mean, I couldn't do sports at that time because I was sick. I was a sickly kid. And girls, and there were, and it's different, especially when it's girls, because that's the opposite sex as men you achieve to please. I'm not going to say I didn't have girls that caught my attention and vice versa. I did. But the girls that I liked, especially the pretty ones, the ones that would be the AKAs that you see today, they would ignore me. I don't think, and Anthony, I don't see how you can call a man saying he's bringing a personal hang up to a professional event. No, he didn't bring up anything. He just he just reminded her who he was. And she had to double back. Oh, no, I didn't. Yeah, you did. You got caught. That's hurting the community when we're saying, oh, he's corny. He's a good brother. And guess what? You all are going to need him, especially if you're going to need a donate. If we're going to try and build a movement, we need entertainers and actors that can contribute to some stuff. I didn't grow up in poverty. No, I didn't grow up like Florida and James Evans. Ain't nothing. So fucking what if I didn't? There's nothing special about the ghetto. I live in the hood. I've lived in it. Yes, I'll never forget where I came from, but that doesn't mean it has to be a part of me either. But let's get back to Jay Morant. This young brother is young. And you saw the video. He has been suspended by his team, according to reports, Morant has been suspended for at least 2 games. The NBA released a statement saying, quote, "We are aware." I just saw the damn thing. Where's the NBA? Hold on. They stated that they were aware of the video that showed an NBA player. They were saying Jay Morant, and they were still saying it was under investigation. Now, Ja Morant has taken full responsibility for what he did. He says, quote, he put this on his Instagram. I believe he deactivated later. He said, "I take full responsibility for my actions last night. I'm sorry to my family, teammates, coaches, fans, partners, the city of Memphis, and entire Grizzlies organization for letting you down. I'm going to take some time away to get help and work on learning better methods of dealing with stress in my overall well-being." Now, this brother is 23 years old, so he's young. He is still old enough to know better. He's not a teenager, but he's still young, and he's one of the brightest stars in the NBA. Now, I know of Ja Morant. I know he had that little altercation with Dennis Hill because he was going to give his father, and all that Memphis Grizzlies the restitution. Now, he planned to take some time away. Now, of course, he's dealing with some other issues because it was also reported by the Washington Post that the police were investigating reports that he had punched a teenager repeatedly. Now, these are allegations. I got to stress that. But in interviews with the police, the teen said that after the altercation, Morant went into his house and reemerged with a gun visible in the waistbands of his pants. Morant told police he swung first, but felt he was acting in self-defense after the teenager threw a basketball that hit him in the head, later making a comment that Morant found threatening. In police records, the unnamed teen accused Morant of punching him 12 to 13 times. Morant also allegedly made threats against the head of security at a Memphis mall, which led to a filing of a police report. Morant has averaged 27.1 points, 8.2 assists, and 6 rebounds in 53 games this season. So he's going to miss Sunday's game, which is tonight against the Clippers, and Tuesday's game against the Lakers, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Now, his net worth, this is his net worth. All right. Jay Morant is worth he has an $11 million salary. That was when he was a rookie. But he signed a new extension. And he has endorsement deals. Of course, he actually just did one with Nike, and he did a commercial that was narrated by his father, I believe, for, I want to say, Powerade. So he has a net worth already of $80 million. But he signs a new contract extension, a 4-year and $39 million deal with the Grizzlies when he entered the NBA. So you couple all of that, especially a new deal he signed with Nike and a Gatorade deal that he has, or Powerade. I read that he was estimated to work, his net worth almost was $195 million. Your network doesn't mean you have $195 million in the bank. And this is all purported. If I'm wrong on the numbers, I'll be happy to recant that. But it would not surprise me because most of these NBA athletes do make big money like that. if you are an NBA player, if you are a journalist, you should interview people as if you don't know them. Professional journalism. Well, I'm not a journalist, I'm a blogger. And I don't know if you're addressing that to me, Bella, but we actually talk to, if I'll talk and interview people all the time, but I'm speaking stuff on this Jay Morant thing. I don't know if you were talking to me or anyone else. DS says that boy should be suspended. Maybe it saved his life because he now has a target on his back. He does. Well, here's the thing. John Morant has a father, T. Morant, who shows up to his games, supports him all the time. I'm wondering what he's saying to his son. Now, T. Morant looks like he's Jay Morant's age. It looks like he had him at a very young age, it seems. I think he's at least in his got to be in his early 40s because he's not a old man at all. I think that he has to have a strong male influence in his life to be there for him. Certainly, we don't want this. I don't want this brother to lose everything, especially at a young age, and you get called out over stupid stuff. But I've seen videos of white kids holding shotguns in prom dresses, handguns. I've seen videos and pictures of dads that actually point guns at their daughter's prom date, which I don't think is funny at all. It's actually assault, in my opinion. Okay. I thought so. I didn't know he was referring to. Thank you for clearing that up, Bella. All right. And I have seen a lot of brothers blow millions of dollars. I'm talking on bullshit. I've seen especially black athletes when they're in college. I'll never forget one kid who I thought had it all when he was at LSU was Ryan Perrilloux. Ryan Perrilloux was a top quarterback out of high school. I think he went to, I could be wrong on the high school he went to. I think it was Lusher. But Perrilloux was a beast, and he went to LSU, and he did. I think had maybe one. He stayed for like one season, if I'm not mistaken, and ended up leaving over some BS because he got caught up in stuff. And that's another thing that you got to divorce yourself from, especially if you're going in the NBA, NFL. Like I said earlier about Michael B. Jordan with the hood shit and me growing up. I didn't grow up in the hood. Leave that hood shit alone, John Morant. It's going to cost you. Friends that you hang out with, don't hang out with them no more. And that's how it's got to be. There have been times when there are people, when I went to law school, there were some people I lost contact with. There were also some people I couldn't hang out with. People I used to hang out with, I don't talk no more. Talk to anymore. There are people I know of who become very successful players. They had to divorce themselves from bullshit. Because just being associated with someone, they could look at you and check your record. Especially when you become an attorney. Let me just tell you this too. Before I went to, this wasn't like going into college where I didn't need to submit any type of background check. If you go to law school, you have to already start, especially in your second year, you have to do professional responsibility. And you have to get a background check before I can sit and become a member of the bar. And they check everything. Your character was a subject at law school, and it could be grounds for dismissal if they found something, if the vice chancellor of academic affairs or students saw something he didn't like. I would get checked for that. So his father, T. Morant. I think T. Morant is a stand-up dude. He got to be slapped Jay Morant upside his head multiple times. See, that's when a daddy is supposed to slap you, not a rapper, not an upset rapper. You want your daddy to slap you to knock some sense into you. So now I just got alert. The head coach for the Grizzlies just made an announcement saying there's no timeline now of when Jay Morant will come back to get some quote unquote personal healing. Taylor Jenkins did an IG on Jay Morant's live video and the lack of clarity on when he'll return and what he needs to do to rejoin the team. I don't know if y'all can hear this.
We've had with we've had as a team, we've had as a leadership group. We love him. We want what's best for him. We support him. It's going to be a difficult process, but we've got a great group to get through this.
You will say what steps need to be taken moving forward for him to rejoin the team?
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not going to share what those conversations are. I think the focus right now is Josh taking on the responsibility to really get the help he needs to get into a better place, generally speaking, but also on the flip side, to be in a better place to, embrace the responsibilities and expectations as a member of this team. That's what we're dialoguing about. That's what we're going to support him through, so hold him accountable to.
Will he be out more than these 2 games?
I mean, there's not a definitive timeline. I mean, we have said that it's going to be at least these 2 games. We're taking it one day at a time. I mean, this is going to be an ongoing healing process.
All right.
I can't comment.
So I don't know if y'all can hear that, but he said it's going to be an ongoing healing process. Well, it could slip up. I'm talking in terms, if you got in trouble with the law, if you got some type of criminal background history, especially if you're trying to apply to law school, all of that comes up because as a member of the bar, we look at character, fitness. So some things, of course, now I'm not saying having an arrest record would keep you out. It doesn't. They've had plenty of people with arrest records. They got lawyers currently I know lawyers who've gotten DWIs. They'll get sanctioned by the bar for stuff, but they can still keep their license. But all of that comes into development. Even about your health, if something is wrong with you, that plays a factor as well. You got to report that to the bar. Let's say I had a stroke. If that affects my license to practice, yes, I have to give them notice of that. So all of that plays a factor. I'm praying that the brother gets some help. I care his health and safety. I do see him with a basketball, and he needs his daddy. I'm sure his dad's there talking. I hope his dad is talking to him. He needs some guidance. I want him to get the best because certainly I don't want Stephen A. Smith coming up talking some shit about him. And we know Shannon Sharp going to say something about him, too. Something happened on Saturday. I forgot. Shannon Sharp actually put a tweet out about that. Did something happen on Saturday that I forgot? Skip. I got the thing right now. I knew Jay Morant I knew this was going to happen. Club Shay Say wasn't there. And I didn't have to be there. But if I was there, Skip, you know what would have happened if I was there. Everything would have gone down. Jay Morant would have cried the blues. T. Morant would have cried over his son. Craig Adams couldn't save him this time. Nobody could come. None of the teammates could save him. You could do that hood culture. But you can't blame it up in the club. You can't certainly blame it up in Club Shay Say. Yeah, Stephen Head Smith, quite frankly, I can't do Stephen A. Smith. I don't have the hair. My hairline is a FBA hairline. It's not doing the I'm not George Jefferson yet. I got the Holyfield thing going on back here. But I'm going to let it go on this, man. I wasn't expecting to go live, but we had a great live stream. It's estimated that I had 55, but I know I had at least 100 people in here or better because we got over 1,300 subscribers on one channel, 300 on another, and we have the hottest live stream on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. I likely will not be back this Tuesday, but you never know how I feel, huh? Oh, Mike Greenberg went on Michael Wilbon saying he's from Chicago. What? Speaking on John Morant, what did that have to do with that? Yeah, that was a low key. That sounds like a low key diss. I gotta watch it to see it. I gotta watch it talking to brother because Club Shay Shay, he can't say this on an empty stomach. Club Shay Shay can't sit on this stool, y'all. I gotta run and go. But before I go, I need y'all to do me a favor. I need you to hit that like, share, subscribe button, Skip. Because you gotta like these videos. You gotta hit that notification bell so you know when we go live with these videos, Skip. But hit that like, share, subscribe button now. I also need you to order on Amazon Kindle The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America, Skip. It is a must-read book, Skip. I also need you all, so if you love this show, I need you to drop something in the Cash App, Gavin Richard ESQ, Gavin Richard ESQ, or the PayPal and Google Pay, gavin.grich1@gmail.com, Skip. We also got the Zelle and we got the Venmo. We got many ways that you can go, that you can come and support yours truly, so he can get that restitution. But y'all go ahead and do that. Also, I need you, if you have it right now, it's Lent season. It's what the Catholics call a Lent season, Skip. They come and get their fish plates with some macaroni and cheese and some potato salad, Skip. You go to NornisCreoleBlends.com, Skip. You try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nornis goes great with every dish. What hypocrisy. Ezra Miller, okay, well, let me address this because I'm not being a hypocrite about anything. I've called out Ezra Miller. I don't know if you're talking about me, but I have called out, first off, I've called out all types of ratchet behavior, especially whether it's white or black, and I have gone in on Ezra Miller before. Ezra Miller, the reason they're going to do that that movie, they've put millions of dollars behind it, so they're not going to put it as a write-off like they did the Batgirl film. But unlike with I guess if you're referring to Will Smith went on national television and slapped this man at the Oscars, which is Hollywood's big night. Ezra Miller, while he does ratchet behavior and criminal behavior at that, he actually was charged. And my understanding, he got time he didn't get jail time, but he got probation for what he did. There's always going to be an element, Robert, of racial element is always going to be there. But the thing is, and Will Smith didn't lose his job. Let's remember, when Will Smith slapped him, now Will Smith didn't go to jail either. Will Smith didn't go to jail. The police said they were ready to take him, although I question that, but he didn't go to jail. He got off in my view, he got off very easy, because if it would have been you or me that went up there and hit rock, we were going to do jail time. And I think because it was at that moment and it was trending, everybody got to see the clip and his reaction from it. It was a hot topic. It's just like in the 90s when Roseanne Barr sang the national anthem. People were milking that up. Same thing with Lorena Bobbitt when she cut off her husband's carrot. Nancy Kerrigan getting hit in the knee. I remember people used to make fun of that. O.J. Simpson, people make fun of that. People will be talking about this for a while, especially with celebrities. We're just fascinated with it. Ezra Miller is white, but he's also not Will Smith either. Yeah, Warner Brothers is not, they're not going to cancel The Flash. What you want them to do? Stop the whole movie? That wasn't gonna happen. Bad Boys 4 is coming out. So Will Smith's still working. He's never stopped working. So I hope that answers that. But we're going to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to advertise, hit me up at gavin.dreamersrun@gmail.com for rates. Go to our Patreon. I'm going to be doing a stand-up show actually this Friday, the Wait What show. So I'm going to be working on some material. But y'all come check it out. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time for us to get on up. We got no down, Skip. Now it's time to get on up. Oh, yeah, you're going to get on up. Because if you don't get on up, you're going to be the worst of the worst. You're going to be like Brett Favre. Brett Favre was the lowest of the low. Brett Favre is a poop. Brett Favre was a poop, white pookie. I'm trying to play the song. Hold on, I'm sorry. All right. Here we go, guys. Looks like we got Spotify free up. I'm going to go ahead and play Gotta Get On Up because it's a great song. It is the best song. I love you all. Good night.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, because on the dance floor is where we'll be. Show me what you got.
I'm going to pause it right quick, but it looks like most of you all, I just wanted to go over the polls right quick before I get out. Hold on. That was premature. I looked at the polls. I did at least 80% of you said you didn't watch it. 15% said it sucked. 5% it rocked. On my backup channel, it was split 50-50. People said one said it rocked, the other said it didn't. They didn't watch. So that's interesting. But we're gonna get out of here, guys. Peace and blessings. It's time to get on up. Thank you, Derek Bailey, Cop Killer, Darius from Atlanta, Robert, bunch of people talking, grubbing, Bella. Yes, he gonna go in. Thank y'all. Good night, y'all. Donate to the Cash App. Give Club Shay some money so he can get this beard trim. All right, y'all. I'm going to be out of here like Barbasol. I'll see y'all. It's time to get on up, Skip. Let's finish playing the movie.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop. I do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe, then you achieve. And so, if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be. The groove, get on the floor. Get on up and move your body with me. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the floor. Yeah, gotta get on. Baby, gotta get on. Baby, feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the
Y'all caught me. Good night, guys.